fast jeden Sonntag tun so, oder? Zwei Hobbyküche. Nee, ich bin kein Hobby. Also ich bin auf Familie studiert, Johannes sind 6 Stunden voraus. Das ist bei ihm vielleicht, wenn du jetzt im Nebengewerbe sitzt, hat das dann eine Glockenhöhe, bist du da am Bild, was ja, natürlich, wenn ihr auch nur ganz selten GPA sein hört, kommt es einfach nicht, würde ich sagen, also wenig Sinn. Absolut. Also, aber finden, wenn man einfach Bilder von die also die machen halt viel mehr. Hier, guck mal, ich bin Witz gefahren, hab ich ja gesagt. Steffi, danke. Da können wir direkt machen.
Achtung, weggegangen!
Our ties in the field of development cooperation are very close, and we also cooperate closely in the economic sphere, but more can be done here. We had an exchange of views as regards that today. For Ghana, it is providing electricity, and electricity supply is of the greatest importance. And we have been talking about Germany making a contribution towards developing renewable energies. The President placed great value on stressing the need for vocational education and training, and we would like to make a contribution towards that. We believe this to be important if one is to want to support the young people. And we are aware of the fact that university degrees are highly valued in Ghana too, but we are aware of the fact that there is also a need to provide labor and work for the young people in the field of crafts. I am very much in favor of expanding the cooperation of German companies with Ghanaian companies. Development cooperation increasingly also for a lower medium income country like Ghana, the economic cooperation with German businesses becomes ever more important. I use this opportunity to point out the interest that we have in creating stable framework conditions for our companies from Germany. It is good that negotiations between the European Union and ECOWAS have developed as regards the signing of an EPA. It's important that all countries sign. We know that Ghana is not to blame here, but we have to make sure that everything is done to allow that agreement to enter into force. We also talked about challenges on a more general scale: Cameroon, Niger, Nigeria, aside from the issues that I already pointed out. Thus, it's fair to say that this is a region that poses many challenges. The happier are we to know that Ghana has a growth rate of 5%, and to the extent that it is possible, we would want to be a good partner to your country. And
KFW is financing several projects in Ghana in the way of renewable energy. We are working with KFW to increase the power we get from solar energy into Ghana's transmission grid. Aside from that, KFW has given us financing to extend the transmission grid of Ghana in order that we can let electricity reach more of our people. GIZ has been active in Ghana in almost all areas: small and medium enterprise development, in the area of agricultural development, in the area of decentralization and promotion of private sector participation in our economy. And I believe that these are all helping to funnel the kind of economic growth we're seeing in Ghana. And one of the areas we want to see increased assistance is from Germany's experience in technical and vocational education. Ghana is a lower middle income country progressing into middle income, and we're seeing a strong demand for skilled professionals in terms of technical experience, and so we want to see how vocational training and technical training can be strengthened in order that we're able to produce more middle-level manpower. At the cultural level, we have a strong German Cultural Institute in Ghana, and we want to see how we can also expand our collaboration in sports, considering that anytime Ghana and Germany meet at the World Cup, the match, achieves a certain excellence that is talked about for a long time. We had a very good game at the last World Cup, and we'd like to see more games between the Black Stars and the German national team. As you know, 3 countries in West Africa are the most affected, and Germany has taken a very strong part in the international response that has helped to curtail the advancement of the disease. I want to say that without the strong international response, we would have seen a very catastrophic, dreadful humanitarian crisis in West Africa as a result of the Ebola virus. We're not out of the woods yet, but we're seeing encouraging signals that it is possible for us to bring the disease under control sooner than later. We also discussed issues of security in West Africa, and Ghana currently occupies the chair of ECOWAS. And just a few days ago, we held a summit on Ebola in Ghana, in Accra, Ghana. But we also took the opportunity to make some new announcements in respect of security, especially with the issue of Boko Haram. We are requesting the AU to take it up in a special session to discuss the menace of Boko Haram and come out with a strategy, especially the formation of a regional force to deal with Boko Haram. I'm encouraged by the news I received that Chad has moved troops into Cameroon to support Cameroon, but I believe that we should do this on a more structured basis, get a mandate from the AU to form a regional force that has an operational plan to be able to deal with the issue of security in northeastern Nigeria. Because terrorism, as we all know, affects the whole of the world. We cannot ignore terrorism in any part of the world because it has the tendency to grow like a cancer. And Chancellor Merkel has invited Ghana to join Germany and Norway to sponsor a special request to the UN Secretary General to have a critical study be made of the world's international crisis management response, especially in respect of the area of health, so that we're not taken by surprise again like happened when the Ebola outbreak happened. And as the President of Ghana, I have agreed to join Germany and Norway to sponsor a request like that. Thank you.
Vielleicht beginne ich.
Perhaps I may begin. We talked about the challenge that Boko Haram poses. It's a horrible, brutal kind of crime that is being committed against the civilian population in Nigeria and also in Cameroon. I welcome the proposal of President Mahama that a regional force be established to fight Boko Haram. The President pointed out that such a regional force, which would consist from troops from African countries, will have to be sustainably funded, which is to say that this is one of the reasons why we're going to talk to and within the European Union in what way we can assist, and so that the European Union can perhaps make a contribution to the African Union. I think it's right to say that African troops have to tackle this issue, but it is nevertheless in both our interests to make sure that that troop or that force can be funded in a sustainable manner.
At the AU summit that is going to take place at the end of this month, we're going to table the issue of Boko Haram and the formation of a regional force. And Africa is able to contribute troops to that regional force, but then our partners would be very important if our partners could join in terms of how we finance that force. And so we'll be very happy for any assistance. But I expect that once we table it at the African Union will engage with the UN and the EU and all the other bilateral partners to see how this will be structured. But talking about technical and vocational education, if you look at Europe, Germany has a very strong comparative advantage when it comes to technical vocational education and also skills empowerment, empowering people with skills. For very many years, master craftsmen in Germany were held in very high esteem, and I would like to create that same environment and climate in our country. We have an educational system that places a lot of value on completing university, going to university and coming out with a degree certificate. But we see that as a lower middle income country, the structure of our economy is changing, and there's a stronger demand for middle-level skilled manpower than for graduates who have completed universities with academic certificates. And so we need to find a way where we can encourage more of our youth to go into technical and vocational education so that it's easier for them to be employed than to come out with university certificates where they cannot find employment. We currently are facing that problem in Ghana, where we have a lot of young people going into university, coming out with qualifications in business administration and so many marketing and so many other areas, but the jobs are just not there for them to be able to do. Meanwhile, you find that business and industry is employing people of a different level. They're looking for plumbers, they're looking for welders, they're looking for skilled artisans,